They would be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and in fact, relearn. I unquote. Seeing all of you being present in this together, it is absolutely hearty to be welcoming all of you. Before I do the context setting as we progress our way towards the mainstream inaugural session, this is once again a gentle reminder to all our valued guests that as soon as our honorable chief guest arrives, it will be expected of all of us to please rise in his honor, and the same will go for his departure as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is today indeed a beginning of an insightful and, may I say, such an enriching journey where we've all literally come together to discuss, to learn, and in fact, to celebrate and collaborate for the betterment of our brave men and women in uniform. Yes, we've gathered here at the prestigious Manekshaw Centre in New Delhi for MilMedicon 2025, a conference that indeed promises to be a landmark event in the field of military healthcare. And may I say, you are the showmakers. The conference brings together experts and in fact leaders, practitioners from across the world. So thank you for flying the skies and crossing oceans to be with us here today to discuss critical issues in military trauma care. This is organized by the Director General of Medical Services, Army, under the stewardship of General Upendra Dwivedi, Chief of the Army Staff. And may I say, adding further beautiful significance, this conference will celebrate the centenary of the Military Nursing Service, the MNS, recognizing their exemplary service and the embodiment of Nari Shakti, as we say, which literally translates as the women power, ladies and gentlemen, in combating the medical care. Well, alongside the scientific sessions, panel discussions, poster presentations of which you will be a part of, this event will feature the Army Medical Corps Scientific Gallery and the MNS Centenary Gallery, celebrating and highlighting the milestones in military healthcare and cutting-edge research, all at the same time. So it is such a beautiful and, may I say, a fascinating amalgamation of all things good. Both a commemoration of achievements and a forward-looking initiative, MilMedicon 2025, promises to foster global collaboration, innovation, and, like I said, exchange of knowledge. This would be a knowledge reservoir, to say the least, in the domain of military medicine. It will deliberate on the critical challenges. Hence, we will need your kind attention towards the stage all the time, apart from the great networking and, of course, the good vibes that we will share. This will focus on managing, like I said, the physical and the psychological trauma that's experienced in military environments, the settings, with a razor-sharp focus on advanced combat trauma care, the application of artificial intelligence, because it is true that AI rules the roost. It is the holy grail, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So here it is, the emerging technologies in healthcare, the innovative approaches in emergency medical response. I think learning about that will keep us excited. But I think more than anything else, they say that the joy of being a human lies in the social connect. So it is also the connections that we are celebrating before any discussion, if I may say so. The MilMedicon 2025 will also strengthen the international cooperation in military medicine, of course, with participation from the delegates representing a number of friendly foreign countries. So can we have a round of cheer for them, especially at this juncture? I think their presence and their coming here emboldens our spirit even more. So thank you very, very much. And on that note, let's continue the momentum as in some time we will begin with the formal program. Thank you. Self to welcome him. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all stand, we are privileged to welcome our distinguished chief guest. देवियों और सज्जनों, तालियों से अभिवादन करते हैं हमारे माननीय मुख्य अतिथि का, भारत के विख्यात Honorable Minister of State for Defence Shri Sanjay Seth, who is accompanied by the Vice Chief of Army Staff, Director General of the Armed Forces Medical Services and the Director General of Medical Services, Army. हम सभी का मार्गदर्शन करने के लिए आज हमारे बीच उपस्थित भारत के गौरव, हमारे प्रेरणा स्रोत, Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri ji, we are delighted, we are ignited to be welcoming an erudite personalities such as yourself. Thank you so much for gracing us with your very warm presence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they say that there are three methods by which we learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is considered to be the noblest. Second, by imitation, which is perhaps the easiest. And the third is by experience, which is the bitterest. Allow me to assure you that today we will learn wisdom through both the bitterest and the noblest means, through reflection and also by experience. A very, very warm welcome to our global scholars, our leading practitioners and the experts to the inaugural session of this landmark experiential event, MilMedicon 2025, the international conference under the aegis of the Director General of Medical Services, Army. A special welcome to our delegates representing the friendly foreign nations, the countries. Welcome to our incredible India, as we say, our Atulya Bharat. Thank you very, very much. A very, very good morning to all of you. Namaskar, Swagatam, Suswagatam. मैं हूँ आपकी सूत्रधार. I am your master of ceremonies. My name is Shikha Singh. The Ministry of Defence declared 2025, as you know, the year of reforms. And here we are, all set at this summit to foster the interdisciplinary dialogue and share cutting-edge research in the field of military medicine. This summit will address the evolving challenges of the physical and psychological trauma in the military environments. I have a heart of gratitude towards all you leading men and women. Thank you so much for being in this together. Well, on that note, highlighting the vision towards a future-ready Indian Army, this event will celebrate the Nari Shakti, which is essentially the women power, commemorating the 100 years of the military nursing service, a testament to the vital role of our women in uniform. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we open this August gathering amidst your humble presence, let us invoke also the presence of Lord Ganesha, who is considered as Vignaharta, the remover of obstacles, and revered in our Indian culture as a symbol of wisdom, intellect, and the fine new beginnings. In fact, as also in the mythological story we have heard and read, that the joining of the elephant head onto a human body is, I think, nothing short of a divine magic, or may I say, the cosmic medical engineering. Well, Ganesha's calm acceptance of his new form shows his wisdom. So what's the wait for? This morning, the cadets of the College of Nursing, Army Hospital, Research and Referral will offer an invocation dance to the divine, resonating a universal celebration of the values. Ceremonial lighting of the lamp. Research shows that traditions are important in building strong relationships. But आखिर क्या होते हैं ये traditions? Traditions indeed are the stories. Traditions are the beliefs, they are the rituals, they are the customs that are indeed, ladies and gentlemen, passed on from one generation to the next. And one such tradition in our incredible India is the ceremonial lighting of the lamp before we begin with anything auspicious. Shubham karoti kalyanam, arogyam dhan sampada, shatrur buddhi vinashe, deepajoti namostute, which essentially means this Sanskrit shloka that the light of the lamp, may it bring us good health, wealth, prosperity, and may it destroy the enemy intellect. May I take the humble privilege to request Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri ji to kindly step forward, sir, please, towards the stage to light the ceremonial lamp along with our dignitaries. May I warmly also invite the Financial Advisor Defense Services, the Vice Chief of the Army Staff, the Director General of Armed Forces Medical Services, the Deputy Chief of Army Staff IS and C, the Adjutant General of the Indian Army, the Director General of Medical Services, Army, Navy and the Air Force, the Additional Director General Medical Services IS, H and PS, the Additional Director General Military Nursing Service. May I request our Honorable Chief Guest to step forward. Ma Saraswati Sharade, Ma Saraswati Sharade, Purna is agyan udad se, Purna is agyan udad se, Saraswati Sharade, Ma Saraswati Sharade. Saraswati, Saraswati Sharade, Ma Sharade, Sharade, Ma Sharade. May I request the dignitaries to be at the center stage for a photograph. And thank you for those applauses as well to our audience for celebrating this auspicious beginning indeed. To our Honorable Chief Guest and our dignitaries on the stage, indeed, thank you so much for your very motivating presence, and thank you for joining us for this very auspicious moment. This indeed, ladies and gentlemen, further marks the century of commitment, compassion, and excellence in military healthcare. Thank you so much to all of you. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, to set the ball rolling, as they say, and to deliver the welcome address at MilMedicon 2025, it is indeed my privilege to now introduce to you the Director General of Medical Services, Army. In fact, who is a life force with such a great acumen. She is a trailblazer, having made history as the first woman to be appointed as Director General Medical Services, Army. A family physician and administrator with 4 decades of experience and counting. She is truly unstoppable. She carries a distinguished academic record with multitudes of military and civil awards, as you can already see on the screens right there. Conferred with Air Officer Commanding in Chief, Western Air Command Commendation in 2001. I think more than anything else, what I would like to say about her is that she is a leader who knows the way. She's a leader who shows the way, but most importantly, she is a leader who also goes the way before anybody else does. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Lieutenant General Sadhna Saxena Nair, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a rare honor to welcome our chief guest, the Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri, Minister of State for Defence, Shri Sanjay Seth, to the inaugural session of this military medical conference, which is an international one, MilMedicon 25, on physical and mental trauma in military settings. His presence amongst us this morning, despite his extremely hectic schedule, is not only a matter of great pride and privilege for us, but is also indicative of the importance he and the Ministry of Defence attach to the physical and mental fitness of our soldiers. Thank you, sir, for being here with us this morning. I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to Lieutenant General Pushpendra Singh, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, Sena Medal and Bar, Vice Chief of the Army Staff, the Financial Advisor, Defence Services, Dr. Mayank Sharma, Surgeon Vice Admiral Aarti Sareen, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, Director General Armed Forces Medical Services, General Officers, Air Officers, Flag Officers, all our other distinguished guests from the Ministry of Defence, the three services, and the civil fraternity, esteemed speakers and delegates, members of the media, and our dear colleagues. A special mention of our guests from friendly foreign countries. Welcome to you all. Bienvenue. Willkommen. Salamat datang. Bruchim habaim. Joinpa lexo. Marhaba. Ayu Bhavan. Maru haba. And of course, Swagatam. Organized by the Directorate General of Medical Services under the aegis of the Indian Army, this landmark event, being conducted at the iconic Manekshaw Centre, New Delhi, over the next 2 days, coincides with a momentous period, the year of reforms as declared by the Ministry of Defence and the beginning of the centenary celebrations of the military nursing service. These twin milestones lend this gathering not only historical weight, but a renewed vision for the future of military medicine. With representation from 16 countries across the globe, from Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, MilMedicon 25 stands as a testament to our shared commitment to advancing the care of those who serve on the front lines. This conference is not merely a scientific symposium. It is a sacred duty. In every operational theatre, our personnel fight two wars, one against external threats and the other within, against the trauma, the fatigue, and the invisible wounds of war. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches us, treat pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat with equanimity. For our soldiers, this balance is not merely theoretical. It is essential for their survival. And for us, as caregivers and military healers, it is our mandate to restore both the strength of the body and the resilience of the mind and the spirit. Modern warfare has transformed dramatically from asymmetric threats to peacekeeping missions, from border skirmishes and low-intensity conflict operations to large-scale multi-domain operations and humanitarian crisis. The battlefield is dynamic and diverse, and so too must be our medical response. Our trauma care systems must be versatile and evolve to deal with polytrauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, and chronic stress. We must also be enabled to use medical technology as a force multiplier on the battlefield while all the time remaining rooted in the ethics of international humanitarian law. This year's MilMedicon is specially enriched by the centenary of the military nursing service, honoring their courage, their compassion, and embodiment of Nari Shakti, or woman power in combat medical care. Key highlights of this two-day conference include the Army Medical Corps Gallery and the Centenary Gallery of the Military Nursing Service, showcasing our shared legacy and vision, as well as a plethora of scientific sessions, panel discussions, and poster presentations on emerging challenges and innovations in military medicine. Each session is designed not just to share knowledge, but to build actionable frameworks for better trauma care, policy refinement, and global medical cooperation. One of the core strengths of MilMedicon 2025 lies in the participation of our friendly foreign countries. This international conference underscores a vital truth. Sangathnaya Balam. In unity, there lies strength. Through the exchange of ideas, technologies, and protocols, we move closer to a shared standard of universal care that is robust, agile, compassionate, and ethical, a standard every soldier deserves. Behind every presentation, every discussion, every policy lies the story of a soldier wounded in combat, a nurse working tirelessly in a field hospital, a doctor stabilizing a life under fire. Their stories give this conference its soul. As Lord Krishna says to Prince Arjuna during the epic battle Mahabharat, Yogastaha Kuru Karmani, perform your duty with composure and devotion. In this spirit, let us reaffirm our commitment to duty, not only as professionals, but as custodians of hope and healing. Remember, real superheroes don't wear capes. They wear uniforms, badges, and stethoscopes. As the Director General of Medical Services of the Indian Army, I consider hosting this event both a privilege and a huge responsibility. The work we undertake here, the insights we shape, the policies which result from this conference will have a ripple effect far beyond the halls of this center, touching the lives of those who serve in silence and sacrifice. Let us remember, weapons may protect nations, but it is medicine that preserves warriors and conserves fighting strength. As has been famously said, the spectacle of a doctor in action amongst soldiers, in equal danger, with equal courage, saving lives where all others are taking them, allaying fear where all others are causing it, is one which must always seem glorious, whether to God or to men. In closing, I once again draw upon the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. Udhared Atman Atmanam. Let one uplift oneself through the power of the mind. Together, may we uplift not just ourselves, but the entire ecosystem of military medical care with innovation, compassion, and shared resolve. I wish you all a productive, engaging, and transformative conference. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, General, for the warmest welcome and also for fueling this forward-looking initiative indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now to render the opening address, I have this distinct honor of talking about our Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri ji. Well, should I be speechless or should I be wordy about him? कहते हैं कि that the bigger the persona of a person, the shorter should be the introduction. So keeping that confusion in mind, may I say that he is somebody whose career has been such a hallmark of excellence, the one who exhibits such fine workmanship, to say the least. From the year 2019 to 2024, a member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, Ranchi, Jharkhand, has been re-elected for the second term since June 2024 and counting. His wit, philosophy, and may I say the love for life is like an institution unto himself, like none other. Honorable Minister, may I share with you, wears so many hats. Multiple hats, in fact, a business administrator, while he also has a Bachelor of Law degree from Ranchi University. His leadership and commitment to the defense services has been instrumental in shaping the direction of medical healthcare in India. He is a seasoned political activist. He has won the student union elections from Vidyarthi Parishad back then in the year 1976. Please note that he is an active member of Bharatiya Janata Party from the first day of its formation. Well, on that note, his commitment to public causes and continued advocacy to people's welfare and for people's welfare is inspirational. A social activist who in 1980 has been the former Central President Yuva Shakti Ek Ho and also the Vice President Jharkhand Olympic Association. Talking about other political activities, he has actively contributed to democratic movements, standing alongside Sri L.K. Advani ji in the year 1990. And also his involvement in student movements, the Jail Bharo Andolan, and also the national service campaigns are some of the distinct points. He has had the honor of participating as a car sevak in Ayodhya. अपनी निष्ठा, कार्यशैली और देशभक्ति के लिए जाने वाले हमारे मुख्य अतिथि, he has also held positions on various parliamentary committees, including the Committee on Communications and IT and the Committee on Welfare of Other Backward Classes. The social initiatives he undertook out of the many, one being, and so impressive, he established the Namo e-library in Ranchi to promote digital literacy, cybersecurity, and global knowledge access by 2047. Ladies and gentlemen, having said that, this time I would expect nothing less than a resounding and a great round of cheer. स्वागत करते हैं मंच पर हमारे अति आदरणीय, हमारे प्रिय Honorable Shri Sanjay Seth जी का. Can we please welcome him with a great round of cheer? A leader who definitely needs no introduction, but it is an honor indeed to talk about him. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for taking the time out and gracing us with your presence. Over to you.
Very good morning, Suprabhat, Namaskar. Before I start my speech, I wish you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. The celebration of the arrival of Lord Ganesha will continue for the next 10 days until Anant Chaturdasi, filling the atmosphere with joy. In India, we begin an auspicious program with the recitation of Ganesh Stuti, which we just witnessed. These prayers honors Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles and the deity of wisdom and new beginnings. By reciting it today, we seek this blessing for our program, inviting positivity and success. Lieutenant General Pushpendra Pal Singh, Dr. Bank Sharma, Vice Admiral Aarti Shareen, Lieutenant General Rakesh Kapoor, Lieutenant General Sadhna S. Nar, Lieutenant General VMB Krishnan, distinguished delegates and friends of the India, experts, veterans of military medicine, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to address the August gathering at the inauguration of the International Conference of Physical and Mental Trauma and a centenary celebration of revered military nursing service. It is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you all to this significant and hurtful gathering, one that brings together the richness of history, the urgency of present challenges, and the promise of a more resilient and inclusive future. Today, as we also mark the centenary celebration of military nursing services, we reflect on 100 years of extraordinary service, legacy, and transformation. This milestone is not just a testament to the institution's endurance, but also its unwavering commitment to care, courage, and compassion, particularly in the field of trauma, especially in battlefield conditions. In our ever-changing world, the relevance of the physical and mental trauma care cannot be overstated. Whether it's a battlefield, disaster zone, and the quiet struggles of the everyday life, trauma, both visible and invisible, affects millions. The wounds we see are only a fraction of the injuries endured. This is why our focus today on combat and care trauma, mental resilience, and polytrauma management is so timely and so vital. We gather to champion a future where trauma care is integrative, accessible, and deeply humane, where mental health is given equal footing with physical recovery and resilience is built not just in body, but in a spirit, where recovery is seen as journey and not a destination. This year also marked the cooperation in the military medicine with friendly foreign countries, a part of the Year of Reforms 25 in Ministry of Defense, where we, alongside our partners in the friendly foreign countries, are committed to reimagining care system with a focus, innovation, inclusion, and impact. One of the most powerful reformative steps we are proud to support is the elevation and empowerment of women in trauma care, leadership, and research, a movement we proudly recognize as promoting Nari Shakti. The strength of women, symbolized in the term of Nari Shakti, is not just a slogan, it is a strategy for progress. Women, whether it's caregivers, warriors, or scientists, bring unique perspectives and resilience that are vital to the health and strength of any system. And today, we commit to building a structure that enables them to thrive and lead and transform lives. As we reflect on the interconnectedness of physical and mental well-being, I am reminded on the timeless wisdom of Charak Samhita, as mentioned in Charak Samhita, Sutradhar chapter 1, verse 55, which beautifully encapsulates the principle, Sariram Sattvam Sang Dhato, Sariram Sattvam Sang Dhato, Dosa Dhatu Malatum, Manah Sarvam Samayatam, Manah Sarvam Samayatam, Tasmin Sati Sariranam, which means that the body is a composite of mind, doshas, tissues, and waste products. The mind governs all aspects of the body, and its presence, the embodied being, exists. This ancient verse underscores the profound connection between the mind and the body, highlighting the disturbance in one inevitability and affect the other. It emphasizes the need for holistic treatment, approaches that address both physical trauma and mental stress. Maharshi Chakra Charak composed the Charak Samhita almost 2300 years ago, an insight into the importance of the physical and mental well-being remain remarkably relevant today. As we celebrate centenary of military's nursing service and explore the future of trauma care, let us draw inspiration from this timeless wisdom of our country, Bharat. As we embark on the centennial celebration of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, let us remember it is through unity, empathy, and innovation that we will redefine trauma care for generations to come. Thank you all being here. Let this event be tribute to the past, a conversation in the present, and a call to action for the future. I now declare the International Conference MilMedicon 25 on physical and mental trauma in military settings and centennial celebration of military nursing service open. Ganesh Chaturdashi. Ganesh, गणपति आपको आपकी खुशियां जन्म जन्म का साथ हो, आपकी तरक्की हर किसी की जुबान पर बात हो। जब भी कोई मुश्किल आए तो गणेश हमेशा आपके साथ हो। विघ्नहर्ता और विघ्नहर्ता कष्टहर्ता, और ऐसे गणेश और गणेश उत्सव में मैं आप सबको मेरी तरफ से बधाई, शुभकामना और इस आशा और विश्वास के साथ कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो संकल्प 2047 जब भारत अपनी आजादी के 100 साल मनाएगा, उन 100 सालों में भारत दुनिया के सर्वोच्च स्थान पे हो, इस आशा और विश्वास के साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय भारत, जय हिंद।
थैंक यू सो मच ऑनरेबल रक्षा राज्य मंत्री जी। हम आपका आभार व्यक्त करते हैं कि आपने इस आयोजन को अपना समय दिया, एंड यू ऑल्सो एड्रेस्ड with your opening remarks both the challenges and also the opportunities and also the great wishes that with which you wished all of us. I think that definitely emboldens us with his address. I think our heads are indeed held high with a sense of pride lingering in the air. I think we are ready to transform the armed forces into a technologically advanced, combat-ready force, as they say. It's also said that act as if what you do makes a difference, because it actually does. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is now definitely set for the Amrit Manthan, as they say, for the churning of knowledge. Churning by leveraging the best of the perspectives. Let us now take our awareness democracy to a new level by inviting leaders whose leadership and vision for the welfare of our armed forces makes them such a befitting choice of being our chairpersons for the upcoming session. First up, ladies and gentlemen, I will take the pleasure of talking about a serving flag officer in the Indian Navy. She is currently serving as the Director General Armed Forces Medical Services. In fact, the first women officer to assume charge as the DGMS. An acclaimed radiologist, radiation oncologist, and hospital administrator in the Armed Forces Medical Services, holding this rare distinction of serving in all the three branches of the armed forces indeed. She early establishment, the early intervention centers in the armed forces. She's been recently appointed as a member of the National Task Force by the Honorable Supreme Court to formulate safe working conditions and the protocols for medical professionals. Well, इनके बारे में हम और क्या कहें? Her leadership in the military is oh so commendable. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warmly welcoming on the stage Sergeant Vice Admiral Aarti Sareen, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal. And next up, we would also like to invite our chairperson, whose leadership and experience underscores the importance of the mission and the path we must take forward towards future excellence. His academic qualifications being so rich, including also the NDC at the US Army War College, Pennsylvania. He has commanded units across diverse terrains, including an independent armored squadron in the Run of Kutch and the High Altitude East Sector Armored Brigade, Rapid Division and Desert Corps. Clearly a force to reckon with. Join me in warmly welcoming this time Deputy Chief of the Army Staff Information Systems and Coordination, Lieutenant General, our session chair. And on that note, handing over the strings of the conversation to the two of you. Over to you.
A very good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. A special good morning to our Rajya Raksha Mantri ji, general officers, flag officers, the FADS, our international delegates from friendly foreign countries, ladies and gentlemen. We continue with the proceedings of the MilMedicon and the landmark two-day conference, bringing together national and international experts in healthcare policy and military medicine. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to introduce to this august audience Lieutenant General Pushpendra Singh, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Sena Medal and Bar, the Vice Chief of Army Staff. Lieutenant General Pushpendra Singh was commissioned into the 4th Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, the Elite Special Forces, in December of 1987. He is an alumnus of the La Martina College, Lucknow, the Lucknow University, and the Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. The general officer has served with his battalion in several ops like Op Pavan, Op Meghdut, Op Orchid, and repeated tenures in Op Rakshak. During his career, spanning 37 years, the general officer has held various command and staff appointments. He's commanded his unit, that is the 4th Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, in the Valley, on the line of control, 104 Infantry Brigade, and notably the 6th Mountain Div in Op Snow Leopard, as well as the 9 Corps in the sensitive Jammu, Samba, and the Pathankot area. The general officer has a deep understanding of operational dynamics on both the western as well as the northern borders. And he's attended prestigious various staff courses, as just told to you by the Master of Ceremonies, at the DSSE Wellington, the Higher Defense Management course at CDM Secunderabad, and the upper course by the IIPA. He holds a Master's in Management Studies from Osmania University and a Master's in Philosophy from the Punjab University. And for his distinguished service, as we've just mentioned, the general officer has been awarded the AVSM and the Sena Medal twice, along with the Chief of Army Staff commendations, as well as the GOCNC commendations. I now request the Vice Chief of Army Staff to kindly grace the stage and deliver the inaugural address.
Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri, officers of the armed forces, delegates from India and abroad, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I, on behalf of the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces Fraternity, extend a hearty welcome to the participants from the friendly foreign countries. I am honored to address the August gathering of MilMedicon 2025, the International Conference on Physical and Mental Trauma in Military Settings. This event brings together an exceptional assembly of global military and civil professionals dedicated to advancing trauma care, a converging domain of science, service, and humanity. The Indian Armed Forces, with their extensive experience in combat, especially our medics in uniform, have valuable insights to share with their counterparts present here. Moreover, the conference is being held under the auspices of the Year of Reforms declared by our Honorable Raksha Mantri, and appropriately coincides with the centenary of the military nursing service. Over the past century, the military nursing service has exemplified professionalism and resilience, delivering critical care in the most challenging circumstances. Their service reflects the enduring spirit of dedication that lies at the heart of combat medical care. Since independence, India has fought 4 major wars and a limited conflict in Kargil. The Indian Army has also been deployed in active counter-terrorist operations for the past nearly 4 decades, as also on the Siachen Glacier, which is the highest battlefield in the world. The recently conducted Operation Sindoor is a testament to the valor and capability of our forces and an apt response to Pakistan-sponsored terrorist attack on innocent civilians at Pahalgam. So, as you see, our medics have extensive experience in combat and combat-like situations. Over the years, advancement in medical technology and faster evacuation has reduced the number of fatalities in the field. I would like to share with a sense of pride that one of our hospitals located in an area where most casualties occurring in counter-terrorist operations are brought to, that is 92 Base Hospital in Srinagar, boasts a casualty management record of only 1.8% fatalities post-admission. And personally, as a Special Forces officer who spent a major part of his career combating terrorism in the valley, I can personally vouch for the superlative standards maintained by this hospital. Today's security environment, marked by conflict, disasters, and complex emergencies, has brought trauma care to the forefront of medical practices, military medical practices. For militaries deployed in active field operation, the importance of the golden hour cannot be overemphasized, where combat medics play a vital role. The management of trauma, both physical and mental, is no longer confined to the medical domain alone. It has become a strategic imperative for war winning, since it is a huge factor contributing towards morale of troops. It therefore demands collaborative efforts for sharing knowledge and experience. This conference provides an apt platform to deliberate on critical themes shaping the future of trauma care. While the participants of the conference will be deliberating multiple facets of healthcare and trauma management, I wish to highlight certain important facets from the Indian Army perspective. Firstly is combat trauma management. Combat and disaster scenarios often present complex multi-system injuries that demand rapid coordinated interventions. Advances in pre-hospital care, surgical techniques, resuscitation and rehabilitation are redefining standards of care and improving survival outcomes. The combat medics of the Indian Army have extensive experience in varied terrain, weather conditions, and operational scenarios, and will not only be able to share their experience, but also be able to learn from their counterparts from across the world. Secondly is the critical care of women in combat care, which has already been emphasized by both the Honorable Raksha Mantri as well as the DGMS Army. The role of women in health and combat trauma care needs no emphasis, and they have consistently demonstrated professionalism, leadership, and resilience as healthcare providers. I'd like to make a special mention of the stellar contribution of the military nursing service in this regard. Another 2 major points which I want to cover is the ethical considerations in trauma care and emerging trends in combat medical response. The provision of care in conflict zones and emergencies is fraught with ethical dilemmas. Upholding the principles of neutrality, patient dignity, and professional integrity remains paramount regardless of the circumstances. Coming on to technology, the convergence of military medical expertise has opened new avenues for trauma care. From advances in telemedicine to integrated trauma systems, collaborative models are enhancing both preparedness and response capabilities across multiple domains. Artificial intelligence has also emerged as a transformative force, enhancing diagnostics, supporting clinical decisions, and facilitating remote interventions. However, as we embrace these technological advances, we must remain ever mindful of ethical considerations and ensure technology infusion only to complement human expertise. And finally, coming to mental health. The aspect of mental health in respect to soldiers in view of combat stress and associated environmental factors needs no elaboration. Indian Army has taken major initiatives in this important domain, creating counseling facilities, conducting wellness campaigns, and promoting mental health awareness in a proactive manner. So, ladies and gentlemen, the aim of this conference goes far beyond than just a forum for knowledge sharing. It is a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to saving precious lives, often under most demanding circumstances. The partnerships forged here will certainly strengthen global trauma care efforts and contribute to building resilient healthcare systems. I extend my appreciation to the organizers of this initiative and convey our best wishes for productive discussions and meaningful outcomes over the next 2 days. On behalf of the Ministry of Defence and the Indian Armed Forces, I once again extend a hearty welcome to our foreign friends and wish you all a pleasant stay. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much to the Vice Chief of Army Staff for highlighting the casualty management record and superlative standards of our frontline hospitals, security environments, combat trauma scenarios, and the stellar contribution of the military nursing services, as well as the new avenues that are going to be discussed for trauma care here, and as well as technology as a force multiplier in the combat zone, the importance of mental health, and of course, leadership. Thank you very much, sir. I now hand over the proceedings to the Deputy Chief of Army Staff, General Kapoor.
Honorable Rajya Raksha Mantri, Vice Chief of Army Staff, Dr. Manekshaw Sharma, Financial Advisor, Senior Officers of the Armed Forces, participants from friendly foreign countries, a very warm welcome to you to India, members of the media, and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen present in the House today. It is my proud privilege to introduce Major General Elizabeth John, and this privilege is particularly significant because it happens in the centenary year of nursing. Major General Elizabeth John has distinguished academic record. She is a graduate of the College of Nursing, Armed Forces Medical College, Pune, where she later became the principal of the same college. She's also an MPhil from the College of Nursing, New Delhi. She also holds a PG diploma in health and hospital management. General John has been the Additional Director General Medical Nursing Services at the Army Headquarters. She's also been the principal matron of the Army Research and Referral Hospital, which is our flagship hospital in the armed forces. Apart from that, she's been the ex officio member of the Indian Nursing Council. She's been a referee of the International Journal of Midwifery. She's also been the nodal officer for Nursing Scientific Sessions International Conference of Military Medicine, which was held in New Delhi in 2018. She's also been a member of the International Nursing Honor Society. She's been awarded with multiple awards, most significantly the Florence Nightingale National Award. She's been awarded the Chief of Army Staff Commendation twice and the GOC&C Western Command Commendation Card. When I look at her key engagements, she's done some yeoman work in quality of patient management and patient safety. She's also been a mentor for capacity building in nursing services. And those of us who've ever been to a hospital or been admitted in a hospital, the nursing services actually play a significant role in our recovery and coming back to shape to be back in the combat zone. She's also played a stellar role in policy and training leadership and has actually upscaled the quality of nursing education. And most importantly, what I was told by some of the people who've served with us, she improved bedside manners in a very large quantity and quality. It is now my privilege to welcome Major General Elizabeth John onto the stage.
Thank you for those very kind words, respected Chair. Shri Sanjay Seth, Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri, Minister of State for Defence, Lieutenant General Pushpender Singh, Vice Chief of Army Staff, AVSM, SM and BAR, Surgeon Vice Admiral Aarti Serene, AVSM, VSM, DGFMS, Lieutenant General Sadhna S. Nair, DGMS Army and Senior Colonel Commandant, and distinguished guests. It's indeed a very proud privilege and an honor for me to be here amidst you this morning. And I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me here on this momentous occasion of the centenary celebrations of military nursing services to share my thoughts. I deliver the keynote not merely as a ceremonial obligation, but as a clarion call to recognize, reflect, and re-envision the role of women in war. Our theme, Empowered to Care, Women and War, Rise of the Military Nursing Service, an Indian Perspective, is both a tribute and a challenge to those who have walked before us, and a challenge to ensure their legacy does not fade into historical footnotes. It's not merely a milestone, it is a powerful testament to a century of women who, without rifles or grenades, waged wars with compassion, resilience, and unwavering dedication to preserving life. Women have played diverse and critical roles in warfare throughout history. They have fought wars for their country right from the ancient eras till date and have lost their lives to the brutality of war. With the Second World War, huge number of women from Britain, Germany, and Soviet Union fought in combat roles. The Soviets, in fact, had set up an all-woman, all-female sniper unit. And with the advent of the 21st century, many nations across the world opened the doors for women in combat role. Israel, US, Canada, Australia, and Japan, to name some. The involvement of women in the armed forces in the Indian perspective traces back to the establishment of military nursing service in 1888. Women auxiliary corps continued to serve in non-combat roles. It is only by 1900s, the late 1900s, that the things started to change for women in the armed forces. By 2020, women serving under short service commission were granted permanent commission, and the first batch of 17 cadets were admitted to NDA for the training. And these are our brave soldiers in the Air Force and the Navy. In fact, Lieutenant Shekhawat was the first martyr woman in combat role. This all comes with certain challenges, as some of the earlier speakers have mentioned. The impact of military or war on military women can be quite painstaking. They have increasing mental and emotional health problems, physical health problems, and social and familial stress on account of their deployment at the forward areas. Even women, the civilian women and children are greatly affected by the war. Violence, heightened vulnerability to trafficking and displacement, inadequate access to essential services, and potential for exclusion from peace building and recovery process. The United Nations has called to action the provision of comprehensive services for survivors of conflict-related sexual violence to help these women live with dignity, increase their participation, and break the cycle of violence. But ladies and gentlemen, while these women carried weapons, there were others who carried wounds, and in them lies a quieter, equally indomitable story. The military nursing service in India evolved through phases marked by war, reform, and assertion of national identity. The Imperial Military Nursing Service, the Indian Military Nursing Service under the colonial rule served primarily as a reserve force supplementing British nurses in the military hospitals. The World War I period saw a significant escalation in the number of Indian nursing staff recruited and trained for battlefield medicine, both in India and overseas. Florence Nightingale had a tremendous influence on nursing in India. She is considered the founder of modern nursing in military. Her work in Crimean War in 1854 influenced the nascent nursing corps in India. In fact, two British women, Catherine Grace Locke and Miss Jessie Elizabeth Oakley, from the Imperial Military Nursing Services in India, shaped the professional development of nursing way back in 1888, and they were mentored by Florence Nightingale. The Queen Alexandra Imperial Military Nursing Services operated under the dual control of the British and the Indian Authority in a hybrid form to administer the medical services in India. With the establishment of the MNS in 1926, India saw a formal consolidation of military nursing service as an elite corps. The real turning point came in the post-World War II years when the Indianization in the armed forces prompted a structural realignment. The MNS became fully integrated into the armed forces medical services, and they are a unique all-women force. The MNS Ordinance 1943 provided the legal framework for the formation of governance of MNS and legitimized the service and enabled it to operate within the Indian military structure and were granted commission ranks. The MNS was constituted as a part of the regular army under the Army Act 1950 and Army Instruction 274/50, which determines the terms and conditions for the military nursing service officers. The central government brought the MNS under Army Rules 1954, which governs various aspects of military service. Now, this is the crest and motto of MNS as it has changed over the years, and this is the crest that we now follow. And our motto is service with a smile. This is the organizational structure of the military nursing services, and this is the organization chart of the MNS. The ranks of the MNS officers ranges from lieutenant at the base, and the highest is the Major General. Well, these are the ground breakers in military nursing service. Major General Gertrude Alice Ram was the first lady in the Indian Armed Forces, along with France and America, to hold this rank across the globe. Well, she's not just a starred general officer. She was a military nurse. She had put in 1,000 hours of flying soon after the independence in 1948, when she brought in casualties from Kashmir in the Kashmir conflicts, flown 1,000 hours to bring these brutally injured soldiers to our zonal hospitals. And for this, she was awarded the Param Vashishta Seva Medal. On the right is Mrs. Elikuti Mani, the first principal, the founder of College of Nursing, a premier institution at Armed Forces Medical College. At that time, we did not have a qualified MNS officer to head this, so the government invited her to start the college at AFMC. She is educated from the Columbia University, United States of America. Well, the MNS has transitioned. The government initiatives for growth of the MNS started soon after the independence because the government felt that the needs of the growing clientele in the armed forces, their healthcare needs need to be looked after, and that is how they started establishing schools, recruitment drives, and the MNS expansion, standardizing the training under the Indian Nursing Council norms, providing better incentives and benefits. Now, these are the number of schools that were established between the year 1950 to 1983, and as you can see, the starred institutions at these places are today colleges of nursing. This is the premier institution, College of Nursing at AFMC, established in 1964. Now, the eligibility for admission to these courses is what is seen in the slide here, and they go through a very rigorous selection procedure, and then they are shortlisted for the courses, graduate program at these various institutions. The cadet life is not only professional, but it also helps them to adapt to the military setting to provide roles to our combatants. On successful completion of the course, they are commissioned as permanent officers and short service officers based on their merit position. We also take nurses from the civil with BSc nursing, and they too go through a rigorous selection procedure, and they are then inducted into the service as short service commission. They go through a military training at the Officers Training College at AMC Centre to make them aware of the military aspects of care. Where are these nursing officers posted? They are posted at hospitals, educational institutions, command and army headquarters, and also at the humanitarian missions. The role of the military nursing officer is dynamic and demanding, involving combination of patient care, administrative duties, training, and professional development. She is an integral part of the country's war effort, humanitarian assistance, rescue operations, ambulance trains, hospital ships, and submarines. And they serve in advanced echelons, as already mentioned by one of the earlier. You've heard that. They are deployed in various missions. They provide combat care, comprehensive care to the combat troop, and they serve the Indian troops at the highest battlefield and also to those who are in the desert areas. They have served in various operations, and they have played a crucial role in the pandemic, which is globally experienced. They were the frontline providers in the nation's fight against this pandemic. They are also involved in repatriation missions. And coming to the crucial role of the military nursing services in the military care system, they provide care 24/7. I have most of my medical counterparts sitting here, and as the general officer here said, that they are reassured that their competent nursing officers are taking care of their patients while they are away after they have done a very extensive surgery. They are the primary care providers and the first responders in any setting in the hospital. They provide direct patient care, holistic care, care coordination and collaboration. They detect things much earlier because they have the privilege of being at the patient's bedside 24/7. They are healthcare providers, provide emotional support, follow up after the discharge by counseling the patients, and they enhance the quality of care. They are effective team leaders. They are vital for the provision of quality care and patient outcomes. And as you can see, that they bring about all these differences, significant differences in the reduction of hospital-acquired infection, medication errors, and so many other things. The very first, in Florence Nightingale's words, I'd like to quote her, the very first requirement in a hospital is that it should do the sick no harm. Yesterday, I happened to visit the hematology department of the Army Hospital Research and Referral. I wanted to visit that place because I was instrumental in starting that course, hematology and stem cell transplant course. I was very reassured and very, very happy as I interacted with the head of the department at the hematology center. And he said, ma'am, we have trained 12 nursing officers and I have raised. So it is a credit for those who are specialized in nursing. In the words of Lieutenant General A.K. Das, to support what I said, the success of medical effort depends to a large extent on the efficiency of the nursing team. Well, these are the various responsibilities of the nursing officers in combat care. They operate in very high stress areas, life or death situations, where immediate and efficient medical care is paramount. They manage critical cases, ensuring continuous monitoring and appropriate intervention to maximize chances of survival. At the military hospital, they not only shoulder the multifaceted responsibilities of managing healthcare facilities, coordinating medical logistics, and participating in disaster relief, they also provide their primary duties to provide comprehensive care to our armed forces personnel. And beyond the physical care, they provide the psychological counseling and support to the military personnel who deal with unique stresses and strains of their service life. In the training centers, they perform all these duties. These are their, I'm not going to read that, it's for you all to just glance through it. The responsibilities of the nursing officers who do the administrative role at the Army headquarters and the headquarters at the respective command is they play a very vital role in maintaining the health and readiness and wellness of the armed forces, demonstrating leadership, clinical expertise, and administrative acumen. They provide essential health care, disease control, vaccination, and health education, aligning with the broader humanitarian goals of alleviating suffering and support to these personnel in crisis. In the words of a woman from a sub-Saharan continent, this is what she had to say about our military nursing services, service officers who were deployed in those areas. We have seen nurses from several countries, but the kind of care, compassion, and empathy shown to us by the Indian nurses is beyond compare. Well, we have lots of career growth opportunities for our nursing officers because it's very necessary to update yourself, otherwise you are lost to the growth of expertise in the medical field. So we have lots of continuing education programs which are long-term, short-term, and they are intra-command, they are inter-command, and we keep them updated. Friends, today is a world where we are dealing with an evolution of medical diseases of different types. Earlier, yes, combat is a major part of the military service, but today cancers, cardiovascular diseases, liver transplants, all organ transplants are the mainstay of specialized field in medicine. So we have not left our nursing officers behind. We have these many training programs of 1 year wherein they are trained in these fields. And I could proudly tell you that the armed forces, AFMS, had training for psychiatric nurses way before I joined the nursing in 1975. So that was our main fort, the psychiatric nurses, nursing, the orthopedic and rehabilitation nursing, the operation theater nursing, as some of you would know that course as that name, and the burns and the reconstructive. So this was our mainstay, but now we have expanded. And I'm very proud to say that my nursing officers who work in oncology unit or the stem cell transplant bring about perceptible changes in the patient outcome. Well, this is not without challenges. Our nursing officers, as most of the speakers said before me, that there are challenges which our armed forces personnel face, and the carers too face that. And these, if we do not take care of our carers, how will we take care of our armed forces personnel? So we need to understand that our carers also go through many challenges because of the high stress areas that they work in. And that is where the resilience training and the support of the administrators and privileges of leave and giving them a little more comfort so that they can be with their families is ensured. Well, we are not behind in sports and adventure activities. Here is Lieutenant Colonel Saroja Jitu. She was the first woman, Indian woman, who got a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. And in fact, in that Games, she had carried the torch. And here is Captain Dania, who has participated in the recent medical games, military medical games, which was held in France, and she got 9 medals, gold, silver, and bronze in various activities. Well, these are the various recognitions and awards and medals, the highest being, as the chair has mentioned, the Florence Nightingale Award, and many of them earned this award by the work that they perform. I'm proud to say that our veterans who leave the services early in life have made a niche for themselves. And I have some of them who are seated here. They are leaders in corporate sector, not only in India, but globally, and they are bringing absolute change in the place where they are working. We have Lieutenant Colonel Sarabjit, who's here amidst us, who is now the Secretary of the Indian Nursing Council and on deputation. We have Captain Mrs. Usha Banerjee, who is the head of corporate head for Apollo for nursing. And there are so many more, ladies and gentlemen, who are excelling in their profession, not only in our nation, but across the borders. And all this is due to the military training that they receive in our country. These are the various martyrs who died during the First and Second World War. Their names are engraved in the Commonwealth graves, and we have some even in our country. We pay homage to them on our Raising Day. Now, the vision for the centenary and beyond is honoring the past, healing the present, and inspiring the future. Centenary is not a curtain call, but a launch pad for yet another transition vis-a-vis the evolving military medicine, asymmetric warfare, space exploration, and tech advancement. Let us remember that our nursing officers build bridges between fear and hope, chaos and order, injury and dignity. I quote the late President Abdul Kalam, "When I see nurses, I am reminded of angels moving in a full moonlight. In a hospital when no doctors or relatives are around in the nights, the nurse provides consolation and relief. At that time, the nurses appear to be angels. All of you provide human services in removing human miseries and pain with intelligence and patience, and service to human being is service to God." Ladies and gentlemen, the smile says it all. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Major General John, for the detailed insights on the role of the military nursing service and the journey that the military nursing service has performed over the years. Let me assure you, we are a grateful armed forces for the care and service provided by the military nursing service, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart. Also, I just want to inform the audience here that the military nursing service provides psychological counselors to every United Nations mission where India is deployed. And as a nation, we recognize the role of women. No wonder that out of the 4 senior leadership positions in the medical corps, 3 of them are held by women, and all 3 of them are present here. And finally, if I was to describe the military nursing service, I would describe them with 3 S's. The first S stands for their sensitivity towards patients. The second S is they are strict. If they are not strict, you know, patients can go away. And the third S describes them as somber, and they are very somber about their own contributions. Thank you very much, General John.
Vice Chief of Army Staff and our keynote speaker, for your respective perspectives and in your exuding confidence in this year of reforms and how it will be such a momentous step indeed in the modernization journey of our armed forces. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, they say that attitude of gratitude is indeed the best attitude to have. So may I take this liberty of saying that we will now invite a leader who would render the most important word of the inaugural innings. And that word, ladies and gentlemen, is saying thank you to you all. Well, this leader has been conferred with numerous military and civil awards. The Chief of Army Staff Commendation Card 1995, the CISC Commendation Card 2017, and MD Community Medicine. To deliver the vote of thanks, allow me to welcome the DGMS, IS, H and PS, the one who has played such a pivotal role in organizing this summit in the capacity of being the Vice Chairperson, MilMedicon 2025. Please welcome Major General Sandeep Bhalla.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. On behalf of the core organizing group, I take it as an honor to deliver the vote of thanks to all the esteemed participants sitting in this magnificent edifice, the Manekshaw Centre, and also those who have worked tirelessly for the past 9 months in bringing together this highly curated international conference, MilMedicon 2025, on physical and mental trauma in military settings, and the centennial celebrations of military nursing service. First and foremost, I express my deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Sanjay Seth, Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri, for gracing us with his august presence and sharing his invaluable insights. Sir, your words have truly enriched the spirit of this conference. A heartfelt thanks to our friends from 15 countries, all of whom have traveled far and wide to enhance the scientific proceedings with their unique experiences. I wish you all a satisfying academic feast and a comfortable stay at Delhi. I take this opportunity to acknowledge our esteemed Chief of Army Staff, who could not be personally present today due to prior international commitments. He, nevertheless, has been the force behind our backs and has placed unshakable trust in our capabilities. I place on record my gratitude to the Vice Chief of Army Staff, who has graced the occasion, taking time out of his busy schedule and made our efforts worthwhile. Sir, your words have provided clear direction for us to follow. The Director General, Armed Forces Medical Services, and her team have been a guiding light throughout the planning and conduct of this conference. A big thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank our pillars of support throughout this preparatory journey, namely the Defense Secretary, the Financial Advisor Defense Services, the Ministry of Defense, senior officers from the Ministry of External Affairs and the Ministry of Home Affairs for easing our path in international protocol. I can't thank enough the Adjutant General, who has reposed great faith in our Directorate, the Deputy Chief of Army Staff Strat, and the GOC Headquarters Delhi area. Without their kind and personal indulgence, this conference would not have been possible. I place on record the academic and scientific support provided by the DGMS Navy and the DGMS Air in making this conference more meaningful. I acknowledge the administrative acumen and financial insight of Commandant Army Hospital Research and Referral that helped us adhere to strict timelines in making procurements for this highly anticipated conference. We are truly grateful to you, sir. I also thank Commandant Base Hospital Delhi, Commandant Armed Forces Clinic, and Commanding Officer of the Field Hospital for providing unflinching support in terms of logistics and manpower for making this conference a grand success. I thank the members of the media and the press covering this international event. Lastly, I thank the young and enthusiastic team of officers of the Army Medical Directorate led by the charismatic First Woman Director General Medical Services, Lieutenant General Sadhna S. Nair, AVSM, VSM, and Senior Colonel Commandant Army Medical Corps, and also Major General Lisamma PV, Additional DG Military Nursing Service. I wish you all happy and fruitful deliberations encompassing the realms of science, technology, and ethics. Finally, a special thank you once again to all the delegates and the participants present this morning. Jai Hind, thank you.
Major General Bhalla, thank you very, very much for delivering the vote of thanks. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Benjamin Franklin, who once said, "You tell me, I forget. You teach me, I remember. You involve me, that's when I learn." So ladies and gentlemen, the idea is actually to involve all of you. Hence, we are now pleased to announce the inauguration of the scientific exhibition and the centenary gallery of military nursing services by the Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri ji. This will feature milestones in military healthcare and cutting-edge research. It will all be about the actionable insights, and this will be followed by high tea. Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri, may we humbly request you to please rise and join us for this inauguration occasion and kick off the scientific exhibition in the Centenary Gallery. We once again thank you for your gracious presence, wishes, and leadership. I'll request the audience to kindly wait until the Honorable Chief Guest has left the auditorium. Request all of you to please kindly wait back. Ladies and gentlemen, along with our visit to the exhibition and the gallery, of course, we will enjoy the high tea. That will be such a wonderful opportunity to network with your peers, friends, and delegates, and of course, have discussions and one-on-one conversations. Please note that the exhibition will remain open during this time as well. On behalf of the organizing committee, I once again extend my hearty gratitude to all the dignitaries, participants, speakers for being a part of this historic event. And it doesn't stop here. This is just the inaugural. We are looking forward to an enriching 2 days of discussion, sharing of ideas and collaboration on critical topics in trauma care and military settings. Please note, ladies and gentlemen, that we will be beginning sharp at 11:45 a.m. So please recharge yourself and join us for the scientific sessions that commence at 11:45 a.m. So we request you to please reconvene by then for sure. And I will see you all at the very scintillating cultural evening tonight. So we'll sign off for now, but please enjoy your high tea and have a great, happy networking hour as well. You may please exit from the rear gates and also the frontal gates, which are near to the stage, and ensure that there is a peaceful dispersal towards the gallery and the exhibition, which will just be inaugurated by our honorable chief guest of the day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the insightful innings. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you. 11:45, please remember.